Hello, friends from the comic world. My name is Hector,
And my name is G.
and we're here to talk to you about the collected editions graphic novels that are coming out in August 2024. Now, the way we do these videos, you and I, we uh, first talk about a few titles that we are really excited about, some picks, so we go a little bit into more detail about those titles. Then we'll have some titles where we want to highlight, so we want to make sure you do not miss for that month. And then we'll leave you with the rest of the list so you can see everything else that is going to be on sale during the month of August. Also, note sometimes there are delays. So there might be some titles that we showed or talked about in previous videos, and you might see them here again. It's just the nature of the industry. Sometimes there are some printing issues, delays, anything reschedules, things like that. And we're on social media. Make sure to visit us on Instagram, X, Twitter, Facebook, and of course, YouTube under at PRH International Comics. We'll leave some links in the description for you. And without further ado, let's get started. And first off is one of my picks. This is Dream Machine, a portrait of artificial intelligence. And this is written by Apupen. Well, it's written by both Apupen and Laurent Daudet. And I believe Apupen also does the illustrations. Um, this is from MIT Press. I think this is the first time I've talked about MIT Press during one of these videos. Uh, this is about AI. Obviously, that's very topical. And just so you know, Upperman is a very well-known and well-regarded and awarded graphic novel writer and artist from India. And Lorenzo, that is I believe he's a doctor or professor, and uh, in the University of École Normale Supérieure in France, and he is an expert in AI and LLM technology and all of that. So that's why they got together and got to do this fictional story, which is, very, like I say, very topical. Hugo, the main character, is an entrepreneur in Paris in the future, and he has launched this, startup, and he has this it's this technology for a language model, and this big company, like this big technology company is interested in it and is interested in buying it from him and integrating it to their, so the name of the company is Real. And of course he it's really excited about this, but then he starts discovering there is something sinister going on uh with the company, they're and what they want to use AI for. And of course he starts kind of investigating, and he starts seeing that there might be that this company wants to use AI, including his technology, uh, to control social and political, the social and political atmosphere of their country, or of France and other countries. So it becomes this sort of political sort of suspense story. Obviously, it's something like you're like, wait, is this fiction, or is this it gets scary because it's something that right now, with everything that we see in the news, is something that could potentially happen. Um, some of the illustrations, you can find them online, are very beautiful. Very, he creates Pupin and creates this beautiful sort of futuristic world. Um, and I saw some of the dialogue too. I read some of the dialogue, and also it's very, very, very interesting. Like I said, it's like if you like spy dramas, if you like suspense, and like big corporations being the big bad wolf that wants to take over the world, this is the kind of thing for you. And like I said, it's also has an expert on AI co-writing it. So you're going to get it very realistic. Um, that technology part is going to be very realistic. So looking forward to this one for sure. Yep. Mhm. Now for something very
Excellent.
different.
Yes, very different. This is Batman Wayne Family Adventures. This is the volume 5. So this is the smash hit of on Webtoon, and this actually collects the episodes 98 to 116 from the Webtoon series. So the trade basically collects the finale of season 2. So this is definitely for fans of slice of life, which I am very much a fan of myself. So if you're into that, especially for manga, I think this is a transition if you're trying to get into like superhero graphic novels, comics. This is definitely a good transitional point. So basically it's Bruce Wayne, bunch of young heroes, the Bat family learning to fight together, live together, having each other's back, whether or not it's fighting massive villains or coddling, trying to help Alfred get better. This cover is so great. As you know, I'm a massive fan. I love Alfred, so I
Yeah.
love when special attention is given to this man.
Yeah.
So cute. Something about the rubber ducky just adds an element here.
Yeah.
The
The fact that
temperature.
everybody's very nurturing and all that, and Damien is in a corner, sort of like going through the first aid or medical book, trying to get the knowledge
Figure
of how to take
get the
care of him.
knowledge.
Yeah, very
That
cool.
Nightwing with like a thermometer,
Yeah.
like testing the the heat levels. I just really very much enjoy I
And you
just
know that Alfred didn't take off his shoes and his socks because they're just thrown there. They're not very organized on the floor. So he would
mhm.
never do that.
Yeah.
Very cool. Awesome. Next up, I have two for one, but they're related. This is Elseworlds Batman Volume 1, new edition. This is a collection of many of the Elseworlds stories from the 90s. In this one in particular, there's a lot of creators involved, like Byron Price, Howard Chaykin, Steve Riggenberg, Elliot Magan, there's a bunch of them. I can't say all the names, but I'm a huge fan of Elseworlds. I was tempted to bring out my single issue collection of Elseworlds from the 90s, but I'm not going to do that this time. Um, and of course, there's been a resurgence. There's going to be some new ones coming out this year. There was in the last few years, there's been some big ones like Knights of Dark Knights of Steel and DC versus Vampires and DCs and some of the other ones. And there's some big ones, classic ones like Superman, Red Sun, and some of the other ones, Batman by Gaslight, etc. And this is collecting some of the smaller ones that are not as well known. In this one volume, which is all about Batman, it includes Batman Holy Terror, Batman the Blue, the Gray, and the Bat, Robin 3000, number 1 and 2, Batman Dark Joker, The Wild, Batman Houdini, The Devil's Workshop, Batman Castle of the Bat, Batman in Darkest Night, and Batman Dark Allegiances. And then I mentioned there's two because we're also getting Elseworlds Justice League Volume 1. And the list on this for creators also is extremely long, but it also includes like Chuck Dixon, Barbara Randall Kessel, Adam Warren. It's in it here. I mean, there's a bunch of like very well recognized names. And the stories included in this was is Elseworlds Finest 1 and 2, Elseworlds too many S's and R's together for me. Elseworlds Finest, Supergirl and Batgirl number 1, Justice Riders number 1, Justice League of Justice number 1 and 2, Titans, Caesar's Paper Stone number 1, and Wonder Woman Amazonia number 1. I'm extremely excited about this. I'm like I said, it's just in time for the new ones that are coming out this later this year that we will have available eventually collected, of course. So, and I hope this is the beginning of like sort of doing a whole collection of all this Elseworld stories together. So this is great. There you go.
Right. And then next up, Godzilla Monster Island Summer Camp. And this
Yeah.
is written by Rosie Knight. So this one we have an aspiring cartoonist named Zelda who has always dreamed of attending this art summer program camp type of thing. And this year she finally gets to go. She's really excited, but when she arrives, something is off because they replace all the easels and the sketchbooks with like physical activity like stuff like I basically the management at the camp has changed, and so they're really big on like extreme sports, and so it just becomes a nightmare for her because she's like, this is not what I signed up for.
Yeah.
And so determined to salvage her like summer, she tries to escape to like a secluded area where she could actually do her art. But then in that like moment, she stumbles into like this portal into this fantastic world called Monster Island. And there she meets this like baby kaiju named Manila. And great evils are stirring on this island. And Zelda, if Zelda can't protect their home, the kaiju will like unleash a wrath on the world. So it'll seep into the world. And so it's her task to figure out how to solve this problem. So this is like a really fun, especially like a summer read type of vibe. And it could be all ages as well, because so it's kid friendly, but someone like me, I'm very interested in this as well. So yeah, had to pick this. Art is wonderful, as you can see on the
That's
cover
using by the
itself.
cover. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Very cool.
Yeah.
All right. And we continue with Space Junk by Julian Hanshaw. Julian Hanshaw is a extremely well-known graphic novel artist from the UK. He's won tons and tons of awards. He even I didn't know this as I was researching. He also worked as an animator for the cartoon Charlie and Lola, which is really big in the UK, also kind of big over here. So they're, you have somebody who's, somebody that's already a big name doing an amazing tale here. So in Space Junk, you first have Fate, who is, you see there with kind of like this metal thing on her head, and it's a mystery. She doesn't know what she has on there, but she has something bolted on her head, and it's a mystery. And then you have Hoshi, who's the one with the glasses and the big nose, and he has to keep his rage in check, and for that he has a emotional support chicken. They're they live in this dying world. Well, most of the adults have already left, and there's mostly kids left, and they're training for their turn to leave, the world. And they're both like, they're friends and they hang out. They're like wondering what's the point. So uh, they kind of they're drifting around, just going through the motions day after day, and trying to see what their place really is in the universe. So it's more it's sort of like a comedy, sort of buddy, end of the world of past apocalyptic story. Um, and it's about what is life about? Is it what do we do what we do, especially when there's not a lot of places where you can go, or um, and how do you you know, go through life when every day becomes a little bit monotonous, right? Uh, the illustrations for this are amazing. Not just because they're beautiful, which they are, and inside most of the illustrations are in these tones that you see on the cover, but also there's some really cool and very imaginative things that Julian comes up with. And of course, my favorite image so far from what I've seen is of Hoshi walking his emotional support chicken around with the leash. So this is something that I think everybody could really enjoy. Plus, like I said, it's from a very well-known artist and writer that has a lot of graphic novels under his belt and a lot of awards. So there you go. Okay, now it's you.
Next up, we are Big Time by Hannah Khan, and this one, basically the main character, Alaya, who is new to Wisconsin, and everything feels very different because they moved from Florida to Wisconsin. So in Wisconsin, there's this Islamic school that is huge. The city is colder, which is not, I guess, it's just
I would know.
cold.
Yeah.
And she's on this new basketball team, and well, they actually really stink. So, Alaya is like still excited to have like teammates, still excited for this team, but the team captain, Nora, isn't really her biggest fan. And their new coach, while like really understanding and really understands basketball, doesn't really know much about being Muslim. And so main character has to grapple with that. So this graphic novel is chock full of heart and humor, explores culture and perceptions about fitting in, standing out, finding yourself both on and off the court. This sounds like a Hector book to me because I feel
Yeah.
like you've like yeah, without
Oh
getting too
yeah.
detail, it feels like you could relate to the story, even though the character is like a girl, like but still,
Yeah.
yeah. I just thought this was really interesting. I'm particularly like drawn to it myself because I just something about like a sports like I like sports manga, but to see it in a graphic novel format,
Yeah.
it's a I just am very interested in what this has to offer here. So I had to spotlight it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Very cool. And now we're going to continue after our picks. Obviously, now we're going to go into highlighting some of the other titles
Mhm.
that are coming in August. I'm going to start with 30 Days of Night Deluxe Edition Book 2, Steve Niles and Mark Fraction, obviously. And then we have Avatar, The Last Airbender, The Bounty Hunter, and The Tea Brewer, Faith Erin Hicks and Peter Wartman, and a lot of other people involved. Then we have The Amazing Avengers Twilight by Sheep Sudarsky. If you haven't read this yet, it's really good, and it's gotten a lot of buzz around it. Speaking of buzz, there's Batman Detective Comics Volume 2, Gotham Nocturne Act 1. The Ram V run of Detective Comics continues on this second volume. And from the new DC Compact Comics edition, we now are adding Batman Hush to that collection.
All right, continuing on, Birds of Prey Volume 1, Megadeth by Kelly Thompson. We have the Blue Beetle Volume 1, Scarab War by Josh Tru Trujillo. I
Trujillo. Yeah, that's fine.
Trujillo. We have Book of Evil. This is Scott Snyder, illustrated by Ja. And of course, I'm a fan of Kanto. This is volume 4 by David Bomer and illustrated by Drew Zucker. This is Lionhearted. And if you didn't pick this up, this was originally, I believe, on Tapas,
Yep.
the webcomic. And so we have these in physical editions. So definitely catch up on book 1, but the book 2 is coming out here. So
Oh, there's plaque. Yes.
oh
Uh,
yes, Coda's back.
you
I should
forgot
have
to say
mentioned
the
the title. I
title, but that's, I think
forgot the
people got it.
title.
Yeah. And we continue with
You know, right? You
Cuphead.
know.
Yeah, you know.
You can read my
Uh,
mind.
Cuphead Volume 3, colorful crack-ups and chaos based on the characters created by Studio MDHR, stories by Zach Keller, and art by Sean Dickinson. And then we have Dark Spaces, then another Dark Spaces. This is Dungeon, written by Scott Snyder, illustrated by Hayden Sherman. And then we're getting a lot of questions, and a lot of people are excited about this next one. David Mazzucchelli's Batman Year One Artist Edition, obviously illustrated by David Mazzucchelli's and Frank Miller. And, this is a Batman collector's dream to have this. And then we have Deadly Hands of Kung Fu, Gong War by Greg Pak, the amazing Greg Pak. And then we have the EC Archives, The Hunt of Fear, Volume 4, written and illustrated by various artists.
All right, and we have Fall of the House of X, Rise of the Powers of 10, Greg Dugan, or Gary Dugan, I should say. Gosh, my eyes.
Jerry Dugan, yeah.
Gary?
Yeah.
Jeez. Godzilla Rivals Round 3 with a bunch of creators. I'm like, I give up.
Well, this
And of
next one you
course,
can't mess up. Please don't mess up.
I
the
can't
next
mess
one.
up this one because I've met him in person. Very
Yeah.
nice individual. Jim Lee, DC Legends Artist Edition by Jim Lee. Jim Lee.
Yeah.
I got it right. And then the Magic Order Volume 2, Mark Miller, and A Ministry of Compliance. Really cool title, John Ridley. This is Volume 1.
Yes. And we continue with Nightwing Year One 20th Anniversary Deluxe Edition, New Edition, by Chuck Dixon. And there's going to be just a regular trade edition. And it's also going to be a deluxe, a direct market edition. Sorry. We don't, at the time of this recording, we don't have the final cover yet. So we don't have it here. But, come back and you can check out PRH Comics for anything you see here, and you'll be able to see it when we have it available. And then we have Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the IDW Collection Volume 4, just in time for the new TMNT run coming soon. And then we have Ultimate Spider-Man Omnibus Volume 4 by Michael Bendis, and we have a regular edition, and we have a direct market only cover right there on the right.
All right, and then we have the Epic Collection, Venom Epic, The Hunger by Lenin Kaminsky, Wolverine by Benjamin Percy, Volume 9, Sabretooth 4, Part 2, Wonder Woman, this is the Compact Comics edition. This is Earth 1 by Grant Morrison. The X-Men Mutant Massacre Prelude Omnibus by Chris Claremont. And we have the variant of the DM cover listed here as well.
Yeah, and that is it for the highlights for the month of August. Like I said at the beginning, we're going to leave you with the rest of the list so you can see what everything else that's coming out in August 2024. Thank you so much for watching this. A reminder, we're on social media at PRH International Comics. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, X, Twitter, and of course on YouTube. We'll leave some links on the description. And if you like these videos, please come back, watch that. We have many, many more. And feel free to comment, subscribe, like, do all that fun stuff. So that's it. Thank you so much.
Bye.